I didn't say anything. Natalie's not going to be with us?
Well, school's not in session this week.
I can take it.
Okay.
Did you pick up? It's yours? Oh, I thought you asked me.
Good evening. Do I have a motion to adjourn closed session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and we are reconvening open session. And we have a full school board meeting tonight, but first, let's have our very own CSEA Union President, Mrs. Linda Silva, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening. Can we all stand? If you're wearing a hat, please remove it. Put your right hand over your heart. Let's begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You can be seated. Thank you.
Do we have a report out of closed session?
Yes, we do. Item number 1, we have the Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Michelle Magana Boswell as school psychologist in special education. The roll call vote was unanimous. Item number 2, the Board of Education accepted the request for a leave of absence for classified employee number 1853235, January 11, 2016 through May 27, 2016. The roll call vote was unanimous. And item number 3, the Board of Education accepted the request for a leave of absence for classified employee number 1654825, February 18, 2016 through June 16, 2016. The roll call vote was unanimous.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda with the correction made before on the closed session agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and now let's move on to, presentations. Curiosity Quest Rialto Environmental News is our presentation.
Good evening. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Great.
Good.
Okay.
All right, so while she's setting that up, I'll give you a little bit of background about who I am and what we do. First of all, it is such an honor when I get to come back to a community that I was raised in and try to make a difference. It's such a privilege. My name is Joel Green, and I host a national PBS show called Curiosity Quest. And I always tell students, well, they tell me, but I always tell them that I have the coolest job in the world. Kids write me letters. They tell me what they're curious about. I go out and explore. So I've been to some of the biggest factories in the country. I've worked with some of the best geniuses, environmental wizards. Real quick, say we're in the city. All right, ooh, there's a tease there. Anyhow, I've been to Ben and Jerry's ice cream factory, all the way to the Florida Keys to rescue sea turtles, to Alaska to swim with the salmon, and it's incredible the things you get to do. A couple of years ago, I was asked after doing a keynote at a STEM conference in Sacramento, how can we take what I get to do in factories and allow students to get to do the same thing? So we came up with this idea. I say we, it was Wendy's Inn and San Bernardino Community College District came up with this idea called CQ, or Curiosity Quest Problem Solvers. And the idea is we present real world problems to students, elementary, middle, and high school, and letting them use their STEM knowledge to actually solve these problems. And so Curiosity Quest Problem Solvers was born. And recently we had the opportunity with the superintendent's support to work with the city of Rialto, work with the mayor, work with several people here in the city, and have students from Taft Elementary, it was Carter High School if I'm not mistaken, Eisenhower, and the middle school.
JU Middle School.
JU Middle Schools. I mean, awesome to give real world problems to students and use their knowledge to help solve it. And so what we're going to share with you is the end result of this. It's a 3-minute piece This particular piece will air on PBS starting at the end of this month. You'll have access, the city here will have access, it'll air on your local Channel 3 ad nauseum here pretty soon. And of course, the school will have complete rights, media rights to do, school board will have the media rights to do whatever you guys wish to do with it as well. Such a privilege, but let's show you what these students had come up with.
Rialto out at their community garden. I'm here with Danny. Danny, tell us, what is our problem here today?
Well, the problem that students have been given is to create a community garden that they can grow vegetables for the seniors of Rialto.
We notice you walking the students around this garden that has a lot of growth on it already. What are they learning when you're taking them around?
Basically, I walked them around just so they can kind of get an idea of what they might consider growing and to see that, hey, the success that other people are having. So we're just trying to push them in the right direction. That way they come up with a good, solid idea, and we want them to be successful.
The students took their findings and observations, the experts' advice, went back to their classrooms and came up with some solutions.
Today we are presenting our design that optimizes space while producing the largest yield for the senior center.
We have a 15 by 24 foot plot of land that we can use, and like all the other groups, we also chose to go with the drip irrigation system.
There's also something called compost, and I like to use horse manure as compost, and I also like to use mulch to keep out the weeds.
Each box represents the kind of plants that we were going to put in that specific area. Though we could not put it on the PowerPoint, we have it printed and ready to show off to you on the panel.
The judges have selected which solutions they're going to use, and now the students are out here farming. What are you doing right now?
We're taking all the weeds out from the garden to make it have a level field so we can plant easier.
Dominic, what was one of the solutions that you guys came up with?
Well, building a vertical garden would be the best because it takes up less space for the ground.
Dylan, what kind of plants did you guys choose to plant here?
Kale and Brussels sprouts because they're really healthy for you, and I think the elderly might like them.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned from this whole project?
That it takes hard work to make a garden.
So we have the largest yield based on their designs. We have them going vertical and on the ground. Did we solve the problem?
Yes, we did. Kids here utilize their space perfectly. They got their vertical garden for part of it and the ground garden for the rest of it. The irrigation system gets in and they'll be good to go with these vegetables here in a few months when they get up there.
All right, problem solved. All right. So do you have a problem that needs solving, or do you think you have what it takes to be a CQ problem solver? Go to curiosityquest.org, click on the CQ problem solver link, and let us hear from you. All right, guys, did we solve the problem?
Problem solved!
All right. Students here at Rialto. It's so awesome. I mean, you're seeing the end result of several days of recording, weeks of these students taking it back, really working on it in their schools, and presenting it to adults, presenting it to leaders here in the community. And that is, the meat and potatoes of it right there. It's really what these students, the learning process that they got to go through. And we've documented the whole thing, and it'll, as a nice archive for the remaining of their life here. And of course, we'll be able to share it with students not only here in the school, not only on TV here in the area, but other students across the country are going to be able to learn from this as well. So this is, I'm so honored to come back here and to work with the city of Rialto. I can't thank the superintendent enough, and the mayor. We had a lot of community involvement. It's wonderful when you see a community come together like this, and we go from city to city and school district to school district, and like I said, it warms my heart to come back to a city that I was raised in, I went to school in, and do something like this, and to work with these students, and gosh, just to see the light bulbs go off and get to record the whole process. So our hope is that in the future that we're able to do more of this here in Rialto. So you guys have something that's so unique. You have a media outlet, and you have programs at the high schools where you have media departments that, with a little bit of training, can actually take this and make this sustainable, ongoing, presenting problems to students and having them solve these problems in the community. So awesome job. Any questions you guys have? Yeah.
Have any of the vegetables come to maturity yet, or?
I haven't been back to the garden. This was completed in end of October, November? November. Yeah, mid-November, right before it got super cold.
Okay.
And we had an irrigation, obviously the irrigation, what you heard the gentleman from the city say, that the irrigation had to be put in, and we had a problem that we didn't put on Problem Solver that was with the irrigation attachment. So that had to have been done at a different time, but all based on what the students came up with.
Right.
So even the experts who were the ones that were their, the coaches and asking questions, they were sitting back going, wow, why didn't we think of this? I love that when you hear that.
So have they planted seeds? And,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. So it is going.
Oh, it's ongoing, and
Okay.
I think they predicted by April, end of March, that they should have enough yield to start giving to the senior center. So it's pretty awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and it's sustainable. So it's something that I know with Juanita, there's a plan in place to continuously harvest and grow there as well to keep it going.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's exciting, and I know the kids were excited to be part of it. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Okay, comments. Public comments from the floor. At this time, any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes.
We do have two. The first one is Ms. Celia Salaya.
Bueno, feliz año a todos, feliz año nuevo a todos, primero.
Happy New Year, everyone, first of all.
Happy New Year. Mi nombre es Celia Celaya y soy la coordinadora de Amigos Unidos. Es un grupo de apoyo para padres de niños especiales.
My name is Celia Celaya, and I am the coordinator for special ed children and parents support.
Buenas noches, miembros de la mesa directiva, señora O'Kelly, presidenta, doctor Ávila, superintendente, asistentes de superintendentes, audiencia.
Okay, good evening, Dr. Avila, Dr. Montes, Mr. Ayala, Doctora, I'm sorry. I'm trying to read what she's done, I'm sorry.
Miembros de la mesa directiva,
Members of the board,
señora Nancy O'Kelly,
Nancy O'Kelly, President,
doctor Ávila,
Dr. Avila, Dr. Montes,
no, superintendente,
Superintendent,
asistente superintendente,
Superintendent, Assistant Superintendent,
audiencia.
and audience.
Esta noche estamos aquí para agradecerles
And this evening we're here to give you our gratitude
al doctor Ávila, a Mr. Montes, Mr. Ayala, a la doctora Cos, Mr. Island, Mr. Harris, Derek Harris, la señora Johnson, la señora Lisa García, a la señora Doris Monterroso, son coordinadoras de educación especial, y también a la señora Jackie Urbieta y a su esposo.
Okay, I see now. Okay, this evening we are here to express our gratitude this evening, and we are here to give our gratitude to Dr. Avila, Mr. Monte, Mr. Ayala, Dr. Cos, Mr. Islam, Mr. Harris, Mr. Johnson, Mrs. Lisa Garcia, Mrs. Monteroso, Mrs. Jackie Urbieta,
por su presencia y generosidad al donar juguetes para la fiesta de Navidad de los niños especiales.
for having your presence and your generosity for the Christmas gift for children that are with special needs.
Todos los padres y la comunidad estamos muy agradecidos y a la vez admiramos su gesto de bondad y generosidad.
And all the parents are in great gratitude for your gesture. Thank you, I'm sorry.
En generosidad.
I said that it's generosity.
Le damos infinitas gracias y esperamos seguir contando con nuestro distrito. Feliz Año Nuevo y muchas bendiciones para todos.
We want to give you our utmost thankfulness, and we are grateful for all of us.
Gracias.
Thank you.
And next we have our city's Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Joe Baca Jr.
Thank you, Dr. Avila. Good evening, Honorable Board of Education, Madam President, and community members. Here for a couple reasons. One is to make a public announcement. The Joe Baca Foundation, we've been in existence for 10 years, and one of the things we've always done is given back to the community. And being a product of the Rialto community, it's our way of giving back. We feel it's important because a lot of people have reached out to us, and we think it's important that we reach out to others. But just wanted to invite the public and community for an event this Saturday. God willing, the rain doesn't come. We have a free baseball and softball clinic at the 66er Stadium from 9 to 12, and it's free of charge. We'll be feeding all the kids, providing T-shirts. We have a bunch of raffles and giveaways, and we have a bunch of future major leaguers there. We have Daryl Thomas, who's a former major leaguer, Shane Mardozian from the Cincinnati Reds, Josh Morgan from the Texas Rangers, Brendan Davis from the Dodgers, Jason Martin from the Houston Astros, and Stephen Landazuri may come out. He's actually a Carter High School product here from Rialto, who's in AA with the Seattle Mariners. He's been generous to sign autographs. And for those of you that haven't heard of Ricky Nolasco, he's with the Minnesota Twins. His brother coaches here in the Rialto School District. He's going to be donating things. But just want to invite the public. That's from 9 to 12 p.m. at the 66er Stadium in San Bernardino, located 280 South E Street. So that's the first thing. Just wanted to announce that to the public. The second thing is I'm pleading for help. For those of you who don't know, I'm a teacher and coach at Rialto High School. And one of the things that our girls at the softball program, sometimes they feel they're not recognized or helped enough. And I feel that sometimes it's my duty as a leader to speak out and try to help these girls and give them as much as they can. So I want to thank the Board of Education for approving the Hawaii trip. We just bought our tickets a couple days ago. Our girls are going to be going to Hawaii competing. It's a great experience. And during that experience, I've already talked to the University of Hawaii coach. He's going to come out and talk to the girls. And also, we're going to take the girls to Pearl Harbor. So make it educational too. So I just want to thank the Board of Education for that. But one of the things I need help with is I had a small business owner, Teddy Harris, who has dynamite powder coating. She's willing to powder coat our foul poles. In other words, it's a permanent paint that'll be there free of charge. The only thing is I need your help, school district, is to get the foul poles delivered to her business. She will powder coat them for free. And that's her donation to the Rialto School District. I just need your help. So if somehow we can help and do that, the girls in our program would appreciate it. Because our girls work very hard. We've been practicing all week, and I'm real proud of our girls. I'm proud of the girls in our community, and they're very respectful, good kids, and anything we can do to help them would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
And where's the polls now?
The polls are they're on the ball field at Rialto High School. What they need is...
We need to take them loose there and take them to her place of business.
To her business, yeah, which is right here on Ayala Drive.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
No more comments.
There's one more.
And next we have Ipimi Lockhart.
Ipiani.
Ipiani.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Ipiani Lockhart. I want to wish everybody a happy New Year. Use the mic. All right. Is that better? Can y'all hear me?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just up here to let you guys know about a wonderful event that we're doing in San Bernardino. It's called the Tamale Festival. It's taking place this Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a free event for all the community, and we're just asking people to come out because we're trying to spur that same kind of love in San Bernardino. I know that the mayor calls Rialto the jewel of the empire, so we want to get our crown as well. So if you guys could come over and support the community and help us shine and try to inspire and cultivate our community to reach the heights that you have reached here in Rialto. So we just want to inform the community and let you know and invite you out as well, right?
And where's this?
It's at Paris Hill Park, 13, what's the address? 1325 Highland, right? Highland at Paris Hill Park. All right, thank you for your time.
This Saturday, right?
This Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on both days. And then also KCAA Radio is going to be out there as well, and a lot of other local artists out there performing. And there's a beer garden and a wine garden as well, and it should be a great time for the community, all right? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
With the beer garden and the wine garden, they might need the hot chocolate garden with the weather we've been having. Okay, public comments on agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do we have any?
No.
No? Okay. Comments from association executive board members. Rialto Association, REA, do we have a representative here? Okay, appears not. We're still on vacation, so some people are not here. The California School Employees Association, CSEA. Ms. Silva has nothing to say today. Okay. Okay. Communication Workers of America.
Good evening, Madam President and Board. I just came to say Happy New Year and everything. I gave up going to Disneyland so that I could let you know a few things. I was talking to Derek Harris this morning, and there's a legal requirement that all teachers and substitutes be required to do the mandated reporting. And he was showing me that we have a few substitutes and teachers who have not quite done that yet. We sent out an email today, and Heather back there, she's gotten 14 replies so far. So that speaks very highly of your group. They're wanting to do what is right. So Derek will get me on Friday how many have not reported, so we'll be able to help take care of that. The other thing I want to say is I know there's going to be a shortage of substitutes. I don't know what. I haven't had a chance to talk to Mr. Halderson to find out how things are going here in Rialto, but I do know that in San Bernardino we have a critical problem with a shortage, and it's also going to lead into a critical problem of shortage of teachers, because there's not enough people coming up because of the fact the economy is doing so well that people have managed to find jobs that pay more. But I can tell you from my experience with Rialto that people love subbing here because your parents are involved with your children, and that makes a world of difference when it goes to trying to teach somebody. So I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. And the Rialto School Managers Association? Not tonight. Okay. Okay, we move on to comments from the superintendent.
Thank you, President. Kelly, I do want to wish everyone a happy new year. I did take some time off, 3 days, for the first time in many years, and it was the longest 3 days during the break, but I'm glad to be back, and it took me a day and a half to kind of get reacquainted with the flow of things in the office, but I'm back and running. Since our last meeting, I did have an opportunity to do a couple of things. One, I did take a team of administrators to the Auto Speedway here in Fontana. It was an exchange to be able to interact with leaders in other professions, to see what challenges they encounter and how they solve some of their management challenges in order for us to grow. We did get an opportunity to tour the facility. We got the tour from Josh Avila, no relation. He's the director there at the Speedway, and Dave Allen, the president, and I do want to thank them for their hospitality. We learned quite a bit regarding the operations of the facility. They have one major event for the entire year, but it takes them quite a number of months just to plan, where they are able to have up to 4,000 employees for that one NASCAR event during the year, and they have to coordinate that throughout the year. So it was a good opportunity to, again, interact with other leaders in the community. They do some work there with their engineers who work with local schools, elementary, middle school. They do work with some of our students in the STEM programs here in the district. So it's an opportunity to build those relationships as well, and we wanted that opportunity to go there and interact with their leadership team there. On the 16th, I did have the opportunity to participate with the Kiwanis Club of East Rialto, which held its traditional Santa Claus visit from the North Pole to the central office. Students from Dunn and Henry Elementary Schools were elated when they saw Santa Claus and Miss Santa Claus read books to them. Thank you, Kiwanis Club of East Rialto, for such a memorable visit, and the students, I'm sure, will not forget it. We do have Santa Claus in civilian clothes today in the audience. I do want to thank him for his participation. I won't disclose the identity, but I do want to say thank you for what you do for our kids.
Now, see, you have to disclose the identity. We're all curious now.
With permission, perhaps.
Mr. Silva.
Russell Silva, thank you so much for what you do. And then just earlier today, I did have the opportunity to attend the swearing reception for our city's incoming police chief, Randy Deanda. And despite all of the pouring rain, it was an extremely well-attended event. Just a couple of reminders. Schools are back in session next Tuesday, January the 12th, for students. So we look forward to being rejuvenated and welcoming our students back for our second semester. I do want to thank our teachers, our classified staff, managers, and everybody else who contributes to educating our kids for such a successful first semester of the school year, and look forward to an even more successful semester the second time around. Then on Saturday, January 16th, from 10 to noon, we have a free backpack that will be issued to each elementary student in the community at Superior Grocer Store on the corner of Baseline and Riverside Avenue here in Rialto. These backpacks are valued at $55 each. We would like to thank the Christmas Cheer All Day organization for partnering with us on this great giveaway and community fair. For more information, feel free to contact our Communication Services Division, Mr. Ricardo Carlos or Ms. Saida Jaff. And I also want to thank Joe Green for his work with our kids during the Curiosity Quest, and also thank our very own Dr. Ed D'Souza and Juanita Chan for their work in coordinating the students section of it, because this was a joint effort with the city. But Ed and his team were wonderful in coordinating the going and coming and going of students and getting them there and going through this whole process. So thank you so much for that. And then I also, as mentioned earlier, I did participate in the Padres Unidos event for the special education kids and the gift. So I do want to thank all of the staff from the district who donated to the cause. We collected quite a number on behalf of the district. The day before, I had reached out to some personal friends out in LA County, so I was doing some driving across county, just collecting gifts. But it was such an honor to be able to fill the back seat and the trunk of the car with gifts and to deliver them to those wonderful children that I had the opportunity to eat with, dance with, and kind of coordinate some games with Ms. Mirna Ruiz there, who helped me out quite a bit. It was truly a wonderful experience to have that opportunity to interact with the kids hands-on. So I do want to thank them for that. And our Alumni Kudos Corner want to thank Mr. Mathuzi Paul as a graduate, 1995 graduate of Eisenhower High School and UC Santa Barbara, UC Santa Cruz, and Yale Universities, who is now a successful Silicon Valley executive. Mr. Paul is Vice President of Marketing at Alphabet Energy. His background in strategy and business development, particularly around energy-related technologies in the international markets, has been lauded by various national magazines, including Bloomberg. We are extremely proud of Mr. Paul's success and proud that he is a product of the RUSD. And finally, my leadership quote from the Little Big Book with 50 big ideas on leadership, how leaders get going. They go slow to go fast. Go slow means taking time to think, focus, plan, organize, communicate, listen, and teach. Go fast shows up as flawless execution, delivered by a well-aligned team, ready and willing and able to get the job done. Unfortunately, some hurriedly choose to go fast without starting slow, resulting in mistakes, rework, confusion, and low morale. As the Navy SEALs say, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. How do you go as a leader?
Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. And I'd like to add that I knew Matuzi very well. Awesome young man. Okay, now we move on to comments from members of the board. We are missing 2 tonight, but we have 3 here, so we will hear from them. First, let's hear from board member Joseph Ayala.
Well, thank you, President O'Kelly. I want to have a little fun tonight and just use some visionary words, use my time to share with you hope for the future of our kids. Some of our kids are not going to go to college. Some of our kids are not going to be millionaires. Some of our kids are not going to make $40, $50, $60, $70 an hour. So what can we do for them? Well, listening to what the presenter said earlier, the Curiosity Quest with a simple garden made me think. This is the road to independence. It started years ago. This is nothing new when you start growing your own food. But, you know, we live in a civilized society where, you know, we have the cookie cutter approach where if you go on vacation, you'll see the same stores in every community. The legislature kind of ties our hands the way we teach our kids. It's really focused on academics. So when I see that we can help kids grow a garden, that's exciting because we're starting to turn that big rock around a little bit. The key to the hope for our kids, it's kind of like an equation, okay? If they're not going to make more money, they're not going to go to Harvard, then what else can we do? Wait a minute, it's an equation. How about if we balance the equation by lowering their expenses, their living expenses? How can you do that? Well, if they're in an educational institution and we have parents and we're a team and we decide what's best for our children, together we can come up with some ideas. And I just want to share one with you here because in Israel they came up with a desalination plant, the largest in the world, to produce water. San Diego has one now. It's already running. Well, we're also going to get another one in Huntington Beach. These programs are about $1 billion to run each desalination plant. Water is the key. If you don't think it is, how did Las Vegas become the thriving entertainment capital of the world? How does Palm Springs take care of all these snowbirds that come down from the cold climates? Water, okay? Now, if we're not on board with Huntington Beach, and this is not a political ploy or anything, but we may lose an opportunity to ensure ourselves hope for our kids in the future. Okay, water is the key. Now, where else is there water? Well, and I'm taking probably a little more time than I probably should, but they say it's too expensive to transport from other locales. And I said, well, wait a minute, Texaco or maybe some of the oil companies, you saying it wasn't expensive to bring oil from Alaska and we want to bring water from maybe the Sacramento Delta that just goes out in the ocean? It could be done, but it has to be a priority. So our local elected officials have to make it a priority and we have to support them. And we also want to support them at the federal level to give us a little more flexibility to work with our kids. Because if we get water, let's say we take it to Hesperia, take it to Apple Valley, take a trip up there. What is up there? Not much. desert rat. But if you get water up there, we could apply for homesteading. It's in the history books. Homesteading for who? We don't need it. We have our homes already, but our children, give them opportunities. And then what are we going to teach them while we're here in Rialto? The necessary things to become independent. If they have their own properties, they don't have $5,000 a month house payments. They're not going to be tied to the energy anymore. They got electric energy. They got solar panels, and they can grow their own food. Okay, I've used a lot of my time. I just wanted to bring a little hope. There is hope, but we have to be on the same page. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. And now we'll hear from Board Vice President Dina Walker.
Thank you for that lesson, Joe.
I give it my best.
I just have two simple things. January 1st, New Year, and for those of you who have high school students, college students, or you yourself are interested in returning to college this next coming year, the financial aid applications are now open. So please, if you have high school students, get them on that now. March 2nd is the priority deadline for federal financial aid as well as the Cal grants, and we don't want people to wait. So if you know any kids, if they're in your neighborhood, if they're your own schools, if they're your own children or relatives, just make sure they do start their applications now. So that's the first thing. And second thing is, just glad it's a new year. I'm able to be here with you all, starting my second year as a servant to this district. I'm looking forward to the great things that are going to come up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. And just want to say that I'm really looking forward to this next year. We have a great board workshop planned for the 23rd that we're going to be working with the superintendent and establishing our goals for this district and really starting to move this district forward in the direction we want it to go. So I'm very excited about getting that done. And I also just want to wish everybody a happy new year. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season, and try to stay dry out there because it's going to be wet for a while. Okay, I'd like to move on to public hearing. Do I have a motion to open public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and let's see, I have this thing. So the public hearing is on Transforming Lives Charter School. A public hearing will be held pursuant to Education Code Section 47605B for the Board of Trustees to consider the level of support of teachers employed by the district, other employees of the district, and parents for the charter petition submitted to establish the Transforming Lives Charter School. We will now convene a public hearing on the Transforming Lives Charter School petition. Under Education Code Section 47605, the board must hold a hearing to consider the level of support for the petition by teachers employed by the district, other employees of the district, and parents. As part of this public hearing, the petitioners may make a presentation and/or provide statements to the board regarding the charter petition. Following the presentation and/or statements made by the petitioners, the board will hear comments from teachers and other employees, parents, guardians, and any members of the public who desire to speak on this matter. We have received cards from 6 people who wish to address this subject. This matter will then come back to the board for final action at a future meeting. If the petitioners would like to make a presentation or provide statements to the board, please feel free to come forward.
We have several.
Okay, are they coming up one at a time then?
Yes.
Okay, so
Question. The allotted time for the public hearing is officially 30 minutes.
Well, we made it 30 because of the presentation and the number of people. So.
Okay, if we go shorter than that, then that will be okay also, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Just,
Yes.
just.
It will.
It will. Okay. Good evening, Honorable School Board, Superintendent Avila, and Cabinet. My name is Diana McKee, and I'm the Executive Director for Transforming Lives Charter School. And I have been in education for over 13 years as a teacher, school counselor, and administrative designee. I currently hold a single subject credential in biological sciences, where I'm also using as a substitute right now in Pomona Unified for teaching anatomy physiology. And then I also have experience, I have a master's in school counseling from Azusa Pacific University, and I have a master's in educational leadership with an emphasis on charter schools from Cal State Dominguez Hills. And I am currently activating my Tier 1 as we are opening up Transforming Lives Charter School. Okay, our mission that we have is to empower students to be successful leaders who encompass 21st century skills needed for college, career, and beyond. So in other words, we're looking on preparing them for the future with whatever it is that they see that they want to do for a career, for college pursuits, what's going to make them happy. That is our mission. And how we're going to do that is through a blend of rigorous academics, college career exploration, preparation, and work-based learning. Our mission is to graduate students who are skilled and prepared to deliver value to the workplace. Even if they have to work their way through college, like some of us have had to do, they will have the skills to do that in order to go into a position and be able to work part-time if that's what they had to do. They're ready out of the chute at graduation and work, or in college, to combine them. Our other goal is to stimulate and support local businesses with skilled interns and cooperative students. So the students that will be doing community service, internships, to gain skill and knowledge in the careers that they're interested in. Our vision is to equip students to excel at the highest level of academics and workplace readiness. In how we're doing that is students will learn hands-on with project-based learning, problem-based, and inquiry-based learning. So they're learning hands-on, they're learning how to work in a group, in a team, and also working individually also. Because one of the skills that you need for the 21st century is to work as a team, also learn how to collaborate, and also to think on your own. So to do it combined. So we're working with our students to do that, and that, with that experience, also develops lifelong learners. We have 3 key focus areas. Top-level education program, parent community involvement, and fiscal responsibility. For top level, we're looking at having an excellent and exceptional academics. College career exploration, they give them a chance to find out what they want to do before they have to do trial and error in their 20s and 30s. Let's do it while they're in high school and able to get the experience that they need. Give them skills and knowledge and preparation for it. Also, workplace readiness. Because a lot of times there's employers out there that are saying we don't know how to work with these kids coming out of school. They don't have the skills necessary. Let's give them the skills necessary. Parents and community involvement. Parents are integral to any school education system that you have going on. The other part is to have community involved in what you're doing. And we're looking at enlisting the assistance with community businesses. Because that way the students will have an area where they can learn what workplace readiness is like and how those can also translate to college. And another one, fiscal responsibility, always important. Now let's go ahead and break down the education program. Students are going to have the opportunity to take part in various college and career courses. They get to choose to see what directions that they want to go, and they also will have courses, college and career courses, that makes them aware of what opportunities are out there. Because someone can say they want to study medicine, they always think of typically doctors, nurses, in anything, in positions like that. They forget that if you want to go marketing and work in a hospital, you can do marketing for a hospital. You can do accounting. You have other areas within the medical field that you can do that fit your interest. So if you want to be in something like that, as an example. Financial literacy, always important to have. No matter if you're adult, youth, the best time to start teaching them financial literacy is when they're young, because then they start developing the habits that they need to be successful. And of course, leadership communication, definitely important. Our students will be doing that through setting up the college and career fairs at the school, setting up school-wide events with the help of leadership, staff, and administration. Those all come in part. Those are all necessary soft skills that you need for the 21st century. Relationship skills, conflict resolution, always a must when you're working with the element of humans. With humans, you always have relationship skills that you need to build on. And all of the others are also related to 21st century skills. Critical thinking, problem solving, project management, that comes out of project-based learning. So they can take different roles and do it. And then workplace learning, very key to our program. Parent community involvement. Parent involvement is looking that we're having parents volunteer within the school. Monthly town hall meetings so they know what's going on in the school. And then the parents will be able to interact within committees like school site council, ELAC, all those committees where they can give input. And also, there's a thing, visualize this. You have a chair. Your chair has 4 legs, and it has a seat. If you look at the 4 legs, you have all your stakeholders going in. You have your administration, your parents, you have the faculty and staff, and then you have community. Your 5th stakeholder is your student. They have to buy into what you're doing also to the learning process. So if you look at the legs as being the administration, being the parents, being faculty and staff, and community, your seat is the student. They're sitting on it being supported by the legs of the stakeholders. Another thing, community business is going to be huge with us because we're looking at working with the businesses to help students fill market gaps that are out there so employers can start hiring more for positions that people are ready to take on and work skills that are needed. If you think about it, you have staffing companies that charge anywhere from 20 to 30%, and they're trying to train somebody to do it. Why can't they do that for a high school student? And they would be saving them costs too. Because students will have community service opportunities, internships, co-op programs with local businesses. Local businesses that will be vetted and approved through different organizations. Your fiscal responsibility is a must whether you're looking at a household or a business. You always have a budget, you need to stay within the budget. And with doing that, being responsible is having our board adhere to the budgets and the priorities of the school, review any income and expenditures monthly, and also overseeing any activities and budgeting, including the education program and everything that encompasses the school. We are starting with grades 7 and 8, and then adding a grade level every year after that. And that's another way of being fiscally responsible, because you're not trying to add 4 grade levels at one time and making the master schedule look like it's a nightmare. We're not going to do that. We're going to do 2 grades and then add 1 consecutively. We have a business plan. We have a marketing plan. Okay, you do that with a lot of nonprofit businesses and a lot of profit businesses. Why can't a school do that? So that's why we're going in that. We're going with the idea that, yes, we are a school, but we are a business also. And in businesses, in order to be successful, have to have a product. And our product is a high quality education. That's what our product is. And that's why we're developing all the other plans to make us successful, to develop our program even more and develop more public awareness. That way they can see that they're getting assistance, we are partnering with the community, making the community successful, and stimulating financial entities coming in, different corporations that could come in. Because that's the one thing that's holding the Inland Empire back, is we don't have enough corporations moving into the Inland Empire because we don't have enough skilled workers to take the jobs. So what we need to do now is start making helping create the skilled workers with the younger generation. That way when they're graduating, they're already hitting the floor running and not wait until they're after school, after they graduate, to hit the floor running. So that is our purpose, that is our mission, and that is our dream. That is coming true. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your presentation. We will now take comments from members of the public. Are there any comments?
There
Okay.
are. And first we have Tammy Martin Rials.
May I begin?
Yes.
All right. My name is Tammy Martin Rials. I am the president of the Black Chamber of Commerce, Inland Empire, and I'm also an educator. And this meeting was very important to attend because we are in total support of Transforming Lives Charter School. The reason we support this plan is, number one, Transforming Lives is a member of the Chamber. So we have witnessed Diana with starting out with, just a thought, then a vision, watching it turn into a mission, and then watching her slowly develop a strategic plan. So when you see it work from ground up, you're able to support something that you visualize and somebody that you know. And we saw the passion that she demonstrated in setting this up. Now, with the Chamber, there are 3 principles that we focus on, and those 3 principles that we think that are important for business development and for economic growth are politics, having our businesses be involved in politics, community engagement, and I think most importantly, youth involvement. And youth involvement, when we look at the initiatives that are important to us with youth involvement, we look at higher education. Of course, we want our kids to go to college. We want them to achieve higher than even, what our parents are, and what we've achieved. And professional trade is important. We need, we need to bring them back to just some of the simple things in our community that we need that are very lucrative. And then also, most important is the entrepreneur program. Entrepreneur program, we have to, and it kind of goes back to the whole garden thing. We have to, let them know that they can, they're independent, they can create a plan, they can grow a plan. If they want to own a business, they can do that. But we need to instill that in them while they're young. So with that being one of our most important youth initiatives, this is where TLC pretty much comes in at. We are working with her, and we know that in her plan that she is developing some internship opportunities that we want to work directly with her, and we know she's out there working with the businesses who are coming into the chambers. So there you have that direct connection. Then also we're looking at community service opportunities, also coming from working directly with the businesses that are right there. So there's some accountability. When you are, when you have a school and you're able to build those relationships, then you have that direct contact. And then most important is developing a plan, an entrepreneur plan, even within that school plan that we can actually visualize and follow, even as business owners and as a chamber, to connect the community. Now, why all of this is important? Well, it's important because with the relationship and with this school put in place, one thing we want our kids to stay in the community. We want them to come back with great ideas. So many are leaving. So if we give them all the opportunities that we can nourish, we give them the opportunities to, to help them grow their own business, give them a vision that we do support them as a community, and we work directly with a school who's providing that, then I think that that's what the community needs. So we believe in the leadership of TLC. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Rachel Molina.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Rachel Molina, and I am actually a former student of a charter school that is in Santa Ana, and I also graduated from there in 2011. And just listening into so much of what Miss McKee was saying, I call her Miss McKee because she was my former counselor actually at my high school. But just so much of it, it's true how much of an impact the charter school can make, and I'm a testament to that. Before I got into a charter school, I was having a lot of trouble just in school. I entered the basketball team, which was great, but it was a lot of distractions for me, and it was just a huge classroom, and a lot of it I was really struggling. And when I got into that charter school, it all changed for me. The classes were a lot smaller. The attention from the teachers, they were just so passionate and so willing to be there to help and to make sure that I understood everything that I was learning. They just really just made sure that whatever my interest was their first priority. And that's so important because when you know that your teacher's going to believe in you, it makes you try harder. And I see so much of that with charter schools, and not to say that not other schools do that, but just in my personal experience, it was just so touching and so motivating to see teachers that really believed in me and pushed me forward to do my best. And so anyway, so I was saying Miss McKee, Diana, she was my counselor. She would always meet with me, and we would talk about personal issues, family successes. She actually helped me get into college while I was in high school, which was such a big thing for me because I had struggled so much. And in one semester, just one, I moved schools, and I was able to get my grades from D's to A's, which was like mind-blowing to me because I just didn't think that I was capable of that. Sorry. These charter schools they're so important, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't true. I've gone to college, and actually now I work as a teacher, an after-school teacher with 1st, 4th, and 7th graders, and the passion that they showed me is what motivates me to show passion to the kids that I teach. And that's why I'm here. I'm sorry I'm losing it, but I believe in charter schools, and I believe in Miss McKee's vision. And it's beautiful. And I think just how our city, Santa Ana, benefited from it, I think Rialto could as well. So thank you for your time.
Next, we have Yvonne Cervantes.
Madam President, good evening, board members, ladies and gentlemen. She's my daughter, so she cried, I'm crying. Absolutely, yes, I'm a firm believer in charter schools, and when we went there, we were in so much need of help. And she said a lot of the things, but they embraced us, they walked with us. A lot of the things that Ms. McKee mentioned right now, not only did our daughters benefit from it, but they walked with us. They had a company, PIMCO, help us with financials, educating the children as well, the young generation. Also, as parents, they helped us participate, and we were involved in the school site council. Everything Ms. McKee said, I'm a witness of that. And it's beautiful to see. I'm so grateful because I see our daughters, and something that was mentioned a moment ago in different opportunities is that to give back to the community. And we're so proud and we're so grateful that our daughters are back in their city, in the barrio, because we were in the barrio, and they're giving back. And that's because her charter school, they invested and they poured out into them, and for that I'm grateful. We have 3 daughters, twins, Rachel and Michelle. Were the ones that went and graduated and attended college, and we have a freshman. I'm sorry, she's a junior now, and she's at her charter school as well. So, and for that, we're just very grateful for everything that they did. We're a firm believer. Thank you.
Next, we have John Knight. And next we have Pastor Carlos Martin.
My name is Pastor Carlos Martin, pastor here in the city of Rialto, the pastor of the Fine Church of Love, Peace, and Happiness Church. Also, the executive director of Hope for You, Community Development Corporation. And I just want to first of all give honor to all the board members that are present here tonight and that is here to hear our calls, and also want to give honor to the wonderful lady who I'm pleased to support, the executive director Diana McKee with the Transforming Lives Charter School. I had a wonderful opportunity to get a chance to know this woman for some time now, and just to see how passionate she is about the purpose and the mission of what she wants to do. And the reason why I partner with her, because a lot of values and a lot of the things that she is trying to do, it goes right along with what we were doing, not only here at our church, but with our nonprofit. Over the course of our journey, she had an opportunity to learn some things about me, and she didn't know that I was a foster parent for quite a few years, and I cared for about 26 children during the course of our journey as a foster parent. So I have some experience with the charter schools, and I also have some experience with traditional schools. And I just wanted to kind of just give my side of it, and one of the things that I am so delightful for is I've seen the difference that a charter school can make in the life of a child. Being a smaller, some of the rooms being a smaller classroom setting, so a little bit more attention that was given to the children that I had. And I had kids that were really just doing very had some learning disabilities, doing very hard, doing very horrible. And it turned out to be, after a course of like some years or two, they turned out to be some excellent children. And that was charter school. These kids were having a real hard time in the regular traditional school. And when she told me about this, and I didn't share too much with her, when she told me about this, I got on board and I said, you know what, I'm here with you. Transforming Lives Charter School will fill a long-standing need in our community for alternative to traditional public education. There is a strong commitment amongst some of the Rialto parents, but not just parents, but those that work with children in the community, such as myself, and who want to be actively involved in these children's education and to help create an educational alternative for these children, especially with the entrepreneur program that she has, especially as far as giving these children towards success. Transforming Lives Charter School would also provide an educational option for children such as the kids that I had that were really at risk, and seemed like they weren't going to graduate. And I'm so very happy that we have someone in our community that can make a difference. These children need educational options that will help them move beyond their economic limitations and emotional limitations and whatever environmental limitations, so that they can have the equal opportunity and access that is provided, that she would like to provide for our community. So I support the approval of Transforming Lives Charter School to serve students in our community. And I value the Transforming Lives Charter School's mission and would be happy to see a school of choice in our community, and look forward to the professional development, innovative programs and evaluations and of activities that will be offered here within this fine district. Thank you, board. Thank you.
No more.
Okay, thank you all for your comments, and the public hearing on the Transforming Lives Charter School petition is now closed.
We can't ask questions now. Oh,
I
during the
guess
hearing?
so.
Yes.
It's not part of my script.
Oh. We can open it for questions.
Okay. Board members may have some questions, so could we get Ms. McKee, I guess, back up here to answer them?
Do you two have?
Yes.
I have a couple of questions. So I don't
Go ahead.
Oh. Okay, so Ms. McGee, first, is the organization, the petitioning organization for the charter school, as a profit or a nonprofit organization? doing the
Nonprofit.
petition? Nonprofit. So you already
We
acquired
already
your-
have our 501c3 through the federal and the state.
Okay. So on.
And I have my DUNS number.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I think I'm a little bit.
You have your Costco card though? No.
No, actually not. I write on my mom's Sam's card.
So yeah, I'm assuming that you're going to be the principal?
Yes, for the first 2 years.
And then who's on your governing board for the school?
I have Diana Martin, I have John Weber, and I'm just adding on Mary Prater.
So currently you have 2 board members, official board members who...
I have 2. I have one that's not here, Dr. Charlotte Noggle, and I have another one that's coming on board.
So that means...
So I'll have 4 right now.
You have 4 right now?
Yes.
Okay, now are they on the board of the nonprofit, or are they going to be the board of who will govern the school?
Governing the school.
Okay.
Which is a nonprofit.
I understand that. But who's going to govern the school? There are 2 different entities. Your formulation, are they the same? Are they going to be the same? The same people who are governing the nonprofit?
It's governing the school board.
They will govern the school. Okay. So you have just here on the staff versus the makeup administrators. How many students are you looking at 7th and 8th grade? How many students are you looking to enroll year 1?
75 for 7th, 75 for 8th.
So year 1 is
100
50,
total of 150.
150, and that's year 1 and 2. Scale out. Have you scaled out your enrollment for the next 3 to 5 years?
Yes, I have.
And what is your ultimate enrollment at the end of 3 years?
At the end of 3 years, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be roughly about 350.
350. And is that your cap for your school, or are you looking
My
at
cap,
total
we're going all the way grades 7 through 12. So it will end up being 100 per grade level. So we would top out at 600.
Okay, and you're
And the
asking,
school will not be bigger than 600 students.
and you're asking for a 3-year granting of the petition this time, 3 years?
I was going for the 5-year.
You're going for the 5-year?
Hey, I want to go for what I can get. It depends on if you offer me what you think is correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So just quickly then, back to for the experience on organizing the school itself. Have you actually been on a board or a part of a team that organized and that raised the charter school at all?
I was actually the founding counselor and science teacher for Nova Academy Early College High School in Santa Ana.
Okay.
Where I eventually became the college liaison between Santa Ana College and Nova.
Okay. So from your board, has any of your current board members participated in the charter school development process, either through the California Charter School Association or any formalized charter school licensing?
We're doing it right now.
You're in the you're
We're
enrolled
already-
in the charter school associations?
We're already part of the Charter School Association,
Uh-huh.
and we have been since April. That's why our charter petition is 530 pages.
Okay. And so you're in the classes, that's what I mean?
We're in the classes.
Okay.
Not at the moment. We will be starting them and having them finished by March.
Okay, and you're trying to enroll and open in July?
August 8th of 2016.
This year, okay. Okay. So
we will be done before we open.
Okay. Is this a virtual school or is it seat times?
Seat-based.
Seat-based?
Yes.
Full week?
Full week.
Okay.
Block schedule.
Okay. And then a couple of things just on your educational program. What curriculum will be using?
We are looking at Pearson to supply some of the textbooks, and also definitely for the career piece, because they have a real good one going on for business, and we're basing some of the business program off of the books from Pearson.
Okay.
And since I do have a bachelor's in marketing, I am familiar with business strands. And my bachelor's is from Biola University.
Okay. And the standards, what are your standards that you're going to be using?
Common Core.
Common Core. And then if you're teaching, I mean, you're opening with a middle school, or any of your teachers, have you planned out or have you put in your the proposals to have your classes certified as A through G for those students for the math classes and also the foreign language?
We will be applying for the A through G once we have our initial WASC approval in the first year, and then we are then able to apply for the A through G requirements through UCOPS.
Okay, but you're opening with 7th and 8th graders.
Correct.
You're looking to do that. So those initial students wouldn't have that opportunity.
Well, according to how you have to do it through UC Doorways,
Right.
and do it through UC Pathways, you have to be accredited through WASC first.
Right.
And then get a provisional, then where you can go in and then get your work on your UCOPS.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the exact thing that we did at Nova when we first started Nova. And that was grades 9 through 12.
Okay. So for your special education, how will you provide and work for provide for services for students with special education?
I was actually in the petition, we're kind of looking at maybe partnering with the district to supply services.
What district?
Rialto. To work with services. I know it's something that we did with Santa Ana Unified through Nova, so that's something that I wanted to replicate here also.
Okay, so that's not your specific plan for special ed is not in your petition clearly then, because it hasn't been formalized.
It's formalized. There's about 50 pages worth for the special ed plan.
Then you're going to provide special education services if it's formalized, or you're still looking for the partnership with the district?
If I do not get a partnership with Rialto Unified, we will go on it on our own, yes. And hook up with SELPA East End, which handles this area.
Okay. And that's actually the proposal, that's in the proposal
That's in
right
that
now?
proposal
That
too.
what this- Okay.
Both of them are.
Okay. So my last question just has to do with financing, because I'm financing. How are you financing the school without the money from the state with the onset of the initial grant? How are you opening the school?
We are currently writing other grants for other organizations.
Mm-hmm.
We are also enlisting corporate sponsors in order to work on to have them work on like grade 7, grades 8, and initially go through Rose on that.
Okay, so official financing has not been secured for year 1 for the start.
We're
for
working
August
on
8th.
it.
Okay, and then
It's
who's
in
gonna-
progress.
Okay, who would be handling your back office, meaning your school financing?
Savant Co-Education.
You'll be contracting it out to?
We are contracted out with them.
Okay.
And my person that handles the account is Mr. Roy Kim.
Okay. Those are all my questions.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you all for your comments and questions, and the public hearing on the Transforming Lives Charter School petition is now closed. Okay, do I have a motion to close public hearing?
I move to close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we move on to the consent calendar. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by the Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Do I have a motion to approve consent calendar
So
items
moved.
reference E through J?
So moved.
Second?
Okay, do we have any polls? No?
No.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we then move on to discussion action items. Number 1, award bid number 15-16-003, Rialto USD PDC site improvement phase of project to IVL contractors in the amount of $257,000. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and I do have a discussion. It kind of puts 1 and 2 together. If someone is here to explain, I noticed that the recommendations for both of these items that we awarded the bid to the lowest bidder. And it was often significantly lower. Now, I'm all for low bids. However, there is some truth in the saying you get what you pay for. So, do we have any knowledge of what about the quality of the work? And please explain why those decisions were made.
Mr. Islam.
As you can see, the items, we went through the bidding process. And through the bidding process, we got a responsive bidder, and through the bidding document, we defined the scope of the work. So it's the same document requirement for all bidders, and we get each of the company contractors, as you listed on the agenda. You can see they give us their response to the requirement and the scope of the work. So again, we open the bid and we review the bid document to evaluate, make sure it meet our expectations and the standard and the scope of the
Have
work.
we ever dealt with this company before? Because we gave them.
I don't remember this company.
Ms. Chu walked in.
Ms.
Maybe
Chu is
she
here.
can answer.
Could you please answer the board?
Can she go to the podium, please?
I had noticed that on items K1 and K2, in both cases, the recommendation was to award the bid to the lowest bidder. And I'm all for low bids, but sometimes they were significantly lower, and there is a lot of truth in the saying that you get what you pay for. How do we know what the quality of this work is going to be? Or what made us go with these companies other than the fact that they were the absolute lowest bid?
We have this, first is the generator project, the KEC generator project. We have the electrical engineer part of the consultant. We went through the engineer and we think it's okay. It's a local company, local contractor, IVL. And because they're local and I think there is a synergy or efficiency in running the business, running the construction in Rialto. We feel comfortable. This is not a particularly difficult project. And we have plans and specs, and everything should be done according to the plan and spec. So we feel this should be okay. It should be just a normal project. That's for the generator. And for the...
Well, I guess what I'm asking is what criteria, other than the lowest bid, was used to choose the companies that were chosen for numbers 1 and 2?
Oh, since this is a public bid, we really have to go for the responsive low bid. A responsive meaning they meet our criteria in terms of the liability insurance, worker comp, all the other requirements. and we have that. So it's public bid.
So can you assure us that we won't be asked to approve money down the line to fix anything they did wrong, as has happened so many other times?
What we can do as the client and the district to manage the project is just to manage it well, and I cannot personally guarantee anything, but we have to manage it well.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have a question about the other bid?
Yeah, it was the second one to you, admin generator installation project.
And the other project is that's the generator project. And the other project is phase 1, the PDC site improvement for drainage, because we experience flooding every time we have rainstorm at the school site. So originally we thought we have we want to add parking spaces, because we had the many district-wide meetings held in that location.
Right.
But we think that drainage is the first priority, so we start with the drainage. And I'm sorry, this is IBL. The other one is electrical company. This IVL is a local company. And this is basically moving dirt and put some rocks and the DGs and create a depression on the ground, so it's no big deal, a project. So we think we're okay with this contractor.
Okay, and what about the one in number 2?
Number 2.
Integral electrical engineering.
That's right, inland integral electrical engineering. If we this is the second bid. This is rebid. The first time it was much higher, and we have the engineer rescope the project. This is the second bid, and we have actively reaching out to the local contractors to participate in the bid. And so I think we have a good turnout. And yeah, it looks there's a disparity between the high and the low is pretty big, but
yeah, in both cases, the ones you're recommending were significantly lower than all the other companies, which can be a good thing, but it cannot be a good thing too, depending on how the job turns out.
This is something we, between maintenance operation and facility planning, we have to manage it. You know, be at the job site, attend the job meeting, and oversee their schedule progress, their information requests from the consultant we hire for the job. So we just need to manage well.
How specific are their proposals about what they're going to do?
The proposals based on the bid documents, which comprise of the plans, engineering plans, and
Right,
specs.
but do they spell out every single thing they're going to do so that that's something we can refer back to if there's...
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty much quantified. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. O'Kelly, I'd like to further confirm under the Public Contract Code 2111, required by law, this is a public bid. We must comply if the responsive bidder meet all the requirements on the bid document. They have to meet all the requirements. You could be lowest bidder, but you could be not responsive, meaning
Right, I understand.
So once we present to you, we review, make sure everything that meet all the requirements, engineers, and according to the plan. You're absolutely correct. The pricing, as you can look at the numbers, can be so much different between.
Well, that's what concerns me.
You're correct, and you're absolutely right. And we are concerned when we've seen it, but we've gone to extensive review before we bring the item to you approved tonight.
Okay.
To ensure that they are not giving something different. No, what we
Well, sometimes what happens is they put in the lowest bid to get the job, and
You're
then we get all these amendments that we are asked to approve for additional money for things that weren't in the original bid. And I would rather get the entire cost up front. I do not like approving amendments or changes or anything else. It seems like a very sneaky way to get a job.
You're absolutely correct. You know, if the scope is clear and it is we don't change the scope of the project, then the cost should remain same.
Right.
And that is we.
But
have
then
to,
they get halfway through it and say, "Hey, we need blah blah blah." So this is my
correct. You
concern.
know, we have to closely monitor to ensure these two projects. You know, they're not there. So as you heard, you know, our staff will monitor to ensure everything meet continue to be documented.
Well, I think in any kind of construction job, it has to be completely spelled out, each and everything that they are going to do for that price.
You're correct. And
No generalizations that they can say, but that didn't include such and such.
And we have that to the bid documents.
Okay.
And we can hold them accountable.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so we have a first and second on number 1. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 2, award bid number 15-16-004, Rialto USD Admin Generator Installation Project to Integral Electrical Engineering in the amount of $290,200.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Number 3, approve the hourly increase for Avid Tutors to $11 an hour effective January 1st, 2016.
So moved.
So second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And now do I have a move to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second that one.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and so we are now adjourning the meeting. Thank you. And wait. We now need to reopen open session again to take care of the reorganization of the School Facilities Corporation. So I'm going to call this meeting to order one more time. If you look on the second page, it shows you basically how in order of our offices on the board, those are our offices according to the School Facilities Corporation. So can we go ahead and get this done? So number 1, election of president.
I move to elect Nancy O'Kelly as the president of the School Facilities Corporation.
And I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The election of vice president. I moved to nominate Dina Walker as vice president of the School Facilities Corporation.
And I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
For clerk, I move to nominate Joe Martinez for that position for the School Facilities Corporation.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. For member, I move to nominate Joseph Ayala for that position on the School Facilities Corporation.
There's only 3 positions.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong page. I'm done. Oh, good. Okay. All right, and general consent item, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of the School Facilities Corporation held on December 11th, 2014. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.
8:38.